What's up, everybody? I know I look like like I'm about to go oh like on some like Lord of the Rings type stuff. Let's see if Amazon is right. Fuck. I just sent Punkdemic a uh, a request. What's up, everyone? How are you cats doing? Black History of Rock and Roll Month celebration. We got some cool stuff coming up. I'll give you details on another post. Hey, hey, hey! Punkdemic is here.
Barely, barely here.
Yes, 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 yes. How are you doing, Miss Amazon? How are you?
Man, it's
Whoa, let
been
me introduce you. This is the one and only Pirate Punk, Punkdemic, and so many other Jill of all trades, Amazon.
hey,
Those that know her know who she is, especially if you're from or Los Angeles area, greater Los Angeles area. Me and her have a lot of mutual friends that were like older punks and stuff. And I'm gonna let her just like tell you about herself too.
really?
Instead of
Thank you.
me.
I'm terrible at this, right? Horrible.
Man. So,
Orlando, I don't know where to start, man. When it's just us, I do great, and we're just chopping it up. And like now, I'm like, oh my god, what?
well, I'd like to ask you a few questions. Um, where where did you grow up? Just for the audience, where did you grow up and like what inspired you as far as like just um this is, as you know, this is Black History of Rock and Roll. This is probably not the typical, but there's a reason that I have you on here because I love what you're doing with Punkdemic and the way that it's, reaching out to different people and trying to unite communities, let alone just bringing awareness of things. First of all, I'm going to ask, tell us about Punkdemic and your vision and what your intentions are. I've read it, but I want people to hear it from the person that is responsible for this.
Well, one of the slogans when I was, you start a business. Punkdemic now is an official LLC, so it's like a legit business. It's not my hobby, it's my business. Um, you bat around your mission statement and like, what do you mean and how do you say? And like, again, I'm really good at talking to other people, horrible at talking about myself, right? So one of the things we batted around for a while, it might still be up on the website. It says, for those who refuse to be put in a box. And for me, um, as a woman and a black woman, yes, I'm black, people. In case you don't know, I'm on the light side of the spectrum. Black, all blackness all day. Okay. So anyway, um, gosh, I wanted something that was mine. I had went through a bunch of like personal shenanigans and trying to get people to support my ideas and rah rah rah. And then finally, I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it." Can I cuss? Oh my god, I'm
Yeah,
cussing.
sure.
I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself." So the name popped into my head. I was sitting on the patio. It was during the pandemic, right? And a lot of bands weren't playing. We were going through some things where like the drummer would want to play, but the guitarist would be afraid to play, and so on and so forth. And also, I noticed a lot of people, in our scene, quote unquote. I don't really like that term, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you.
Dude, we
We talked
didn't have
about
any
that.
fucking music. There was no shows and stuff like that. And that's our social arena. That's where we go see our friends. That's where we go act a fool. That's where we go relieve our stresses and just fucking cut up or whatever. And I was like, dude, this isn't a fucking pandemic. It's a fucking punkdemic, right? And so I
That's
was like,
awesome.
oh shit. I go, wow, I'm gonna roll with this. And I did. And it just started as that idea. I am big on community. I'm big on people being themselves. And even within the punk culture, I've been Amazon. I've been Amazon since I was about 12. That's who I am. Like, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to listen to what I want to listen to. I like all kinds of fucking music. You're not going to tell me what my version of being punk or whatever is. And so I started that reason. And it was originally just like a few little, a few little sketches and ideas and drawings. And it's just developed into some kind of social conscious fucking, I just can't get away from it. No matter what I do, I have some message. And at first I was like, I'm just going to put some skateboards up and, some spiky haired girls, and we're going to, and it just kept going, and I can't seem to stop myself. So now I put out a shirt that I designed and drew myself for domestic violence awareness. And when I started it, when I said, okay, I'm going to make an official company where I can make money from it, I want to make sure that every year, at least once a year, I'm doing something for somebody else. Like, that's my business motto. That's how I'm rolling and running my business. I do have a partner. What's up, Johnny? And, he's more on the business side and the technical side. And I'm like, nah, we got to do something. I got to figure it out. And so I found something, another person I look up to told me, roll with something that means something to you and you'll be fine. So it took me a while. I was like, oh my God, I like so many different things and so many different people. And like, that's really big, right? And so I landed on that. I landed on domestic violence because it's part of my history. And when I did the design, I picked a tree, and I picked a tree because I don't feel like a tree has a gender, although some people call it a she. That's a whole nother ball of wax. But anyway, I wanted something that didn't have a gender, that would represent both male and female, because I'm aware from talking to a lot of my friends that it happens to men too, that men go through this stuff. They don't feel comfortable talking about it. Like, I just wanted everybody to feel comfortable rocking it and supporting it. So a portion of the sales, not all of it, because I still have to pay for printing and such, but a portion of the sales goes to an organization of my choice. So long story short, this year I started trying to figure out what organization that was going to be. I didn't feel comfortable with anybody I ran into. And so I was just like frustrated. I was like, I have a deadline. I want to do something around the holidays for somebody, because that's the time of the year people do stuff, right?
Yeah.
And because it's the end of the year and I hadn't done anything, like, shit, what am I going to do? And so I put in place that I when I was 19, and it was still there, right? And it was this little, it's a little home. It's an actual house, but it is similar to a shelter. It was a home for women who were expecting, who were about to have their babies and didn't have didn't have anywhere to go, didn't have a support system. A lot of us went from shelters to that place, including myself. I was like 6 months pregnant. They couldn't accommodate me there. I mean, I could have stayed there, but it wasn't comfortable for me, and so one of the counselors reached out and they found this place. So I was just trying to find a place where to put the funding or whatever it is, and that place is still open 30 years later. My kid that I was pregnant with at the time, she's 26 now, and I was one of the first people that stayed there. So I called them and I go, hey, I used to live there, and I don't know you, and you don't know me, but this is where I came from, and I want to do something for you guys. Punkdemic's going to do some things, like just ask them what they want for Christmas, and they were like, what? So I sent them all this press info so that they saw it was a legit business. And they were like, no way, So the girls immediately started writing these Christmas lists and things. So I have, there's 6 women there, like 3 babies that were just born, 3 on the way, I believe, as of now. And I get these emails and I get the Christmas list. So now I'm like, holy crap, I have these lists. So, people that I know have been helping out with donations so I can put it together. The thing is, once the child is a certain age, I think it's like 4 months, could be 6 months, they move and get their own place. So there's some of the women asking for stuff like for their new apartment, because it's going to be like their first place. And then some of them are asking for stuff for the babies. So there's like 2 little lists, one for household stuff, one for baby items and things they need for the baby. But yeah, most of the people there came from that system. I did. And that's where I started. So this is my first act, as an LLC and as a Punkdemic Amazonian. But yeah, it stems from, you know, just me always having a love of community, of my people, all people, but, you know, I love my people. And wanting a space to do what I wanted to do without someone else telling me I could not do it because I didn't fit into some damn, you know, image of what a rocker is. You know, I'm 5'11", you know, I'm no joke. And, you know, I never quite blended. You know, me and you know some of the same people from back in the day, and you know, like I know they didn't blend very well either. So they kind of made their own way and did their own thing. But you know, it's important to me. I do have some press releases going out to some different platforms and things like that. And then I have some I'm going to be emailing, especially you, Orlando, with the list of what I haven't gotten already. For some reason, they all wanted air fryers for their new apartment. Dude, I have a box. I have in the middle of my room, right here is like boxes of air fryers. It's the craziest thing because my place is small.
Wow.
So I'm like walking into air fryers in the middle of the night. So I knocked those things off the list already, but there's still stuff like for the babies or whatever. And they run just on donations. So even like the soap, the food, all that stuff, you know, is donation based. So that's what I chose for right now because I do know them. And I felt comfortable knowing that it would go where it needed to be. So I'm going to continue to just try to work on things that actually mean something to me versus just putting out stuff, designs for the hell of it or whatever, which is fun too. But it has to mean something, you know. And I say a lot. I don't do cameras, so this is like a big deal for me.
That's all good. I always say like.
Dude, you know what I mean? But I wanted to tell you thank you because you've totally been supporting Punkdemic from jump, and you're like, you're doing what, you know? I'm like, well, I'm doing this thing, and you're like, fuck it, I'm supporting. And I appreciate you. Like, you've been around doing music forever. You've been, look at that smile. You've just been there, you know. Orlando, you've been there in your shit. You know, you've been doing it for a long time. We ran in the same circles around the same people for a long time. So it's good to see your face. What else do you want to know? Like, want to sit here and reminisce on back in the day? Because we have plenty of those stories.
Well, let's get a little history on how you got into punk rock, especially in were there things that you noticed, especially being black and punk, because we kind of met even through Afro punk to some degree too, and a lot of that movie, shouts to James Spooner, told many of our stories. I mean, if certain things you probably relate to, maybe not everything, but there's always something that many of us related to that drew us to that movie, as well as like the community that was formed out of it, which we're also a part of, and shouts to James for that, and all the other APOGs, you know. I'm curious, what drew you to even the punk subgenre, let alone like just like what were your experiences, especially being a black punk rocker in that regard, and things that you probably told me that certain people, you told me some interesting stories. I'll let you finish.
You don't understand. I was terrible. I was terrible, dude. I had a shaved head.
That's awesome.
I shaved. And I have all this beautiful hair, right? I have all this. It was down my back, you know, and God, was I about 13? I don't remember. Probably about 13. But I shaved it all off. I just woke up one day and shaved it off. And I walked into the kitchen, and my mom was like, "Oh my God!" She was like, and my mom is white. She's a very white lady. She's pretty white, right? She was like, "Oh my God, you need therapy? Are you depressed? Are you on drugs?" Kind of like the damn suicidal punk.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
It sounded like that, you know, and I was like, "No, Mom, it's fucking punk rock," you know, and I just walked out.
That's so
like,
funny,
oh,
man.
Shit, right? But I'll say that those folks were probably the most welcoming for somebody like me, quote unquote, at the time. They weren't worried about what the fuck I was doing because they were all big fucking mess too, running around acting a fool. So like, I kind of just, well, to say I blended was like a stretch because I didn't blend anywhere. But man, I had a lot of fun. and I was always already tall, and I already looked way older than I was. So I got into shows I shouldn't have been in, and like my first real show, and I say real show because it was like in a venue. I don't remember how old I was. It was fucking Bikini Kill. Can you imagine?
Total riot girl.
Dude, it was Bikini Kill, like Litmus Green, Armistice.
Shouts to Norman. That's my homeboy.
Dude, I got kicked out of Norman's garage one time. I was hanging out in his garage.
You got kicked? How did that happen?
In the garage, dude, and I've known them forever, dude, like different members, but I used to hang out in the garage with fucking Armistice where they were practicing, and he had a song, and I was like, Norman, it sounds like you're saying fucking fish taco. He was like, get out. Get out. You know, and it was hilarious, dude. He was like, get out, you know. But I believe Norman snuck me in. I think I was pushing somebody's fucking amp, and I just snuck into that show. And my God, talk about fucking eye-opening. Like, these fucking chicks, man, were like, God damn it. I had never seen anything. I don't know if Naked Aggression played that day. I don't know. But I didn't know it was a part of history. Like, who can say they saw fucking Bikini Kill back in the day? Like,
that's insane.
I know my ass was there. But yeah, it was crazy. We used to go to shows, and you know, back in the day, Long Beach, down there, that area, we still had the Nazi punks running around. That was like a whole thing. You know, some of my friends, their favorite thing was just to go find them, to fight with them. Like, that's the fucking shit we were doing.
Some of my friends do.
So, you know, lay my boots and fucking roll out, and they would see me, you can't miss me, and target me, not knowing that half the motherfuckers there were my friends. So they would say, wow. And I would turn around, and they'd just be getting their ass beat. I'd be like, what the fuck? What? They would just be getting beat. Like, why are you fucking with her, you know? So I would say that scene probably embraced me the most. I can't really speak on now exactly because it's turned into some, I mean, we're old. I look young, but I'm old. And, you know, it's a little bit more different now. I was into like Food Not Bombs back in the day. I had a friend that wanted to do a little zine, and we had our fucking little punk zine that we did out of paper and staples and shit, you know. And I mean,
old school.
My name was on the back. It was Anarchy sign Amazon. It was Amazon with a fucking anarchy.
That's awesome.
Yo, I had a problem, dude. And so yeah, you know, it just evolved in that. But the issue I always had was, you got to be like this, and you got to be listening to this, and you got to. Well, that's not fucking punk at all, right?
Nah.
That's not
at all.
Like, you know, I was raised on fucking funk music and fucking, you know, oldies and jazz and fucking 60s and 70s rock and then reggae blew my fucking mind, right? When I found Bob Marley back in the day. That's everybody's probably first or whatever. But the lyrics were like, he was a big rebel, all day a fucking rebel, right? So anything that was on the rebellious side of the spectrum, I was there, yo. I was like, this is my thing. So yeah, Punkdemic is kind of like an accumulation of that because, you know, I have a hip hop shirt.
I like that shirt.
Dude,
the one with the bowler hat, that's amazing. You guys got to check out the line. It's awesome.
Dude, I went to go see Positive K.
Well, I haven't heard that name in a long time.
I went to see him were we at the Whiskey? I don't remember. But my partner goes, put your fucking Punkdemic shit on and come over here. I was like, all right. So I went and saw him, and he was wearing that hat. He was wearing a hat like that and holding the mic over the stage. And there's a photo. I'll share it with you. And I was like, it popped in my head. I go, I'm fucking doing a shirt like that, dude. And I did.
That's cool.
But that's from where I come from. That's my era. Like, all that shit was going on at the same time. And God forbid if I would have been like, that's not punk rock. I mean, I would have missed out on so much.
It's so funny because you get some of these, what I call, and I don't want to sound too judgmental, but what I would call
no, but go ahead.
Well, you know how the Pharisees were? Like, they're the pharisaical punk rockers. Like, they're just, you can't do that because that's not punk. I'm like, I don't care. Dude, I'm a freaking B-boy. I pop lock. And there were punks that pop locked back then, too. I mean, look at Spaz Attack, you know? Like, I mean, shoot, look at Angelo Moore. Actually, man, I got a funny story about Angelo. So,
Angelo's the thing where like you gotta fucking love him. You just have to, right? You have to. It doesn't matter if you met him, dealt with him, whatever. Like you gotta fucking love him. You have to.
he's
Like
rad. He's a ball of energy, man.
Tone has to be in there. Like if you don't know who that is, we're not fucking with you, type of shit. It's just that's just,
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I just been glad to see you. I'm glad you're still around doing what you do. I wanted to ask you some questions. So what's
Sure.
up with the sound army? What the hell is that? What is it?
The Sound Army, for all you guys that don't know, most people don't know what most of the people on here don't know me and what I do outside of like Black History of Rock and Roll, unless you're a friend like you are,
I do.
or you know. But I'm a part of I do music education, and I have a program based off of a game that I invented, which just turned 24 years old.
Congratulations.
This month, yeah. But the Sound Army basically is like all of my students and their parents that have become a part of this community that I host this game at every week, and also a part of some of the classes that I used to do after school programs. And we formed the Sound Army. It's basically like a collective of mostly kids and youth, and some of these kids have brought their kids back. Like that's how long I've been doing it, and it's been a really cool thing. Like just my sounds. Shouts to my sounds out there if you're watching. There's a few of them that are on. I featured one of them actually on here because he was in a local band. A bunch of them formed bands, by the way, but this one passed, unfortunately, and his birthday was the other day. Rest in peace, memory eternal to Alex Vielda. I messed up his name. I always mess up his name. I didn't really know his real last name because he went by typical punk name, Alex Bum. But shouts to him and his family.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, that's what the Sound Army basically is a community. It's a collective basically formed from those youths and my programs, and we call ourselves the Sound Army Music Society or Homeland Sound Army. No, we're not a gang. No, we're not a religious cult. No, we're not even a book club. Some of these kids thought about we're a gang. No, dude, we're a cult. No, we're not. Dude, we're just a bunch of musicians.
I always come there and watch you, and I'm like, what is this dude doing today?
Yeah, I love it. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's like the Most High like threw a fast one at me. I had no idea this game would realize. I didn't know that it was gonna do what it's been doing, or even the community that formed off of it. Like when I invented it, like in '99, it was just like, wow, I can't believe like only the Most High knows, And it's kind of a trip though, thinking about it in retrospect, just the alliances. And I have former kids that are now playing shows. They've been touring and stuff. Like, I went to one show and both of these kids that were in my program at two different times are there, and they and one of them was playing the show with a friend of mine. My friend's band Siege was opening up for them. I'm sorry, was headlining it, and they were opening up for them. I'm like, wow, this is so cool. I didn't know that they were even playing that night, so it was awesome just to I just went there to see Siege, and then I got even more of a cool, surprise by one of my sounds playing in one of the bands. It was awesome. Opening bands.
Crazy though when you're old enough to watch bands grow up, like crazy. That is nuts to me. When I see them, I go, they're still fucking playing, and then that's nuts to me.
You mentioned Armistice early. I think I hadn't heard from Norman in a long time, and then I just recently, probably in the last few months, been seeing posts. I'm like, are you guys back together? Funny thing, I've never seen them live.
No.
He gave me their first demo tape. No, I mean, I met Norman at like Long Beach City College, and he was just one of the coolest dudes ever, man. And we've always kind of like corresponded throughout the decades, and I've always wanted to see him. I don't know, like I don't know if he's even still in Wilmington, like.
I want to say that he's playing again. He's under DB Pooh Bear on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I talked to him like a few months ago just via online, but I want to see them play, man. It's been a while. I mean, he's always been cool, and he was one of those guys too, where it's just like, I remember like and I won't mention the zine that gave them a bad review, like, and he was just real cool about it. He's all, man, you know what? We're gonna do our thing no matter what these people think. And so he always, and that Pooh Bear character is him. Like I've always thought of, shouts to Norman, man. That brother, Norman from Armistice or Norman Armistice. I don't know if Steve's with them. Yeah, that
No,
was so
but they
long
played
ago. But
all back. There was a show where like all the old school fucking. I don't go outside. Like I'm not social. Like it sucks to be like that, but I'm not really. And it was such a good lineup. Like all kinds of old school funk fans were on that lineup. But they played. I believe they played. Yeah.
I got to check them out,
You
man.
know,
Like,
you can hop if you want. You can hop over to the Amazon page and see if anybody else wants to hop on with us in a minute, dude, and just chat it up a little. Unless you're tired.
shoot, yeah, we'll do a stream. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
we can do that too. But I want to make sure before we leave that people know where to find you. And there's one other question I was gonna ask before you left. What is the main thing about um music that kind of, I think maybe you touched on it, but I want to just be more specific about music that kind of helped you even in those hard times, and even with feeling with the whole alienation thing, which we've talked about before and we kind of touched on a little bit. What is that thing about music that kind of helped you in that regard, which even translates over to Punkdemic?
I think for me, no matter how I was feeling or like what fuckery, I love that. That's my word right now, by the way, fuckery.
Sound like the Turian Rain. Shouts to Turian Rain.
No matter what was going on, there was always some piece of music, some song, some fucking sound that I could identify with, if that makes sense. Like, and you're young, and did you go through a liking the Cure phase? Did you like the Cure?
I've always liked the Cure, even before I really knew about them. Like my dad, I saw them on Video One back when I was like really a little kid, and my dad, believe it or not, played that song "Let's Go to Bed" in his van. I guess he liked them too, but I got into them a little bit later. And after that, I've seen them twice. So
No, but they're like the original, like fucking emo. That's what they call it now, right? Emo.
yeah,
Fucking, I'm sad, life, my love, So it's like no matter what you're going through, there is a song for it. And if you don't know what it is, your ass could find it. You know what I mean? And if you get out there and you listen to all the different bands and all the different music, you're gonna hear something that you like at some point. You're gonna be like, oh, that shit, they're talking to me.
that's awesome.
I always have this thing. I always tell the boys, there's always these fantastic men of music, black men of music. Sorry. And I always tell them, like, damn, why'd you write this song about me? They're like, Amazon, we weren't talking to you. Yes, you were. You're talking to me. You were talking to me. Fucking. But there's always something. There's a place. A lot of people got into drinking and drugging a lot. That was never my thing because of how I grew up or whatever.
Same here.
That was my drug. That was what I went to. That was my vice. That's what made me feel better. That's what got me through. I don't know. I'm cheesy as fuck. So like, you ever just wanted to tell somebody something and you couldn't figure it out, so you just sent them a song?
I think I did once, man. I think I've done that a few times. Like I think I got in trouble for it because it was kind of crazy sounding. But
that's how you felt. I like your shirt, by the way. Bad
oh yeah,
Brains.
representing Bad Brains, man. That first album, I gotta represent, man. Those guys, man. That first.
You can always find something that you identify with as far as music is concerned. Any kind of music. I don't care what it is. Like, play your fucking music, sing your fucking songs, do your little dances. Now, we were talking about the karate chopping and the chair throwing and shit.
Oh Lord.
What do they do? Like, dude, we were in a fight back in the day and somebody kicked us or threw some shit at us. We were beating their ass. So what is this? What is it?
Let me tell the audience, and the audience, if you have any questions, let me know. Like just go ahead and ask them. But one of the things that I've been tripping off of lately, I think I'm old now, dude, because here's the thing. Me and Amazon were just talking about this. First, I see a video where people are doing push-ups in the pit. Really? We doing that out here?
Like they're at the,
And then, what was that?
I said like they're at the gym and shit. They're working out.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, dude, like, we doing that out here now? And then the second video, they're in a garage and throwing freaking ladders and tools and whatever the heck they're throwing at each other in the pit.
Right.
I'm like, okay, the game done changed, man. The karate chops was one thing which was annoying in my opinion. Sorry for all my hardcore homies that like are into that. I'm old school pitting, man. I like to skank. I like to freaking thrash around, wall of death, slam dance, you know, what we used to call it, you know, mosh or whatever, you know. But that stuff is some weird stuff, man.
I saw it was like I was watching a video of one of these bands I like. And I was just checking out the video, and they panned into the middle of the pit, and I'm like looking for the pit, like where the fuck is the pit? And then I see these fools rolling through, kicking and fucking karate chopping and shit. I was like, I felt old, like you damn whippersnappers. What are you know, like an old ass lady talking shit. You know, I guess that's what they're doing right now. If that's what they feel like doing, fuck it, let them do it, yo. Because I remember.
I'm like, yo, long as they ain't doing meth, I guess it's okay. But I can't. I'm just out of it, man. I can't. Give me an old school pit, bro. Like, you know, like slam dancing.
You know, they thought we were for what we were doing. So now we're looking at them like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you won't catch me in there, though, kicking and fucking karate chopping, but whatever.
Yeah. I remember the first time that I remember seeing a pit. Although I mean that video Institutionalized was my first hardcore song. It just that everything happened in that video just happened at once. But what the first time I totally like donned in on a pit wasn't even that video. I used to watch Flipside video like when I was in the 7th grade before I officially became punk, I guess, you know, whatever that means. So that's what kind of got me into hardcore though, like watching Flipside video and seeing Minor Threat and seeing like Agnostic Front and like all these other like bands on there. And I was like, why are these people fighting? I didn't know, you know, like at the time. And then a few years later, I'm the same dude in the pit with the millions of shaved heads doing the same thing.
No, I do. We're getting older. By we, I mean you, because I'm aging backwards.
Man. Well, my mom always says about me, she's eternal, so I got to start saying that. So, you know.
Man.
But yeah, man, like I ended up being one of those people in that want to look fake fighting frenzy. But man, I love pitting, man. It gets a lot of aggression out, you know.
I mean, it crashed down like a boot to the head on accident. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you know? That stuff does hurt. I've been hurt in the pit a few times.
Christ, you see lights, man. It hits you so hard in the head. I don't even know how that happens, really. I think it's from somebody like crowd surfing or fucking diving or. You only need one good one of those, and you're good. You're fucking fixed. You hear me?
Yeah.
You see lights, and you're good.
Man. Well, I got 2 more questions for you. What would be advice? I'm sorry. What would be like advice to leave people with, and also leave your social media, I mean like just your information on how to get how to contact Punkdemic and donate or whatever your cats need to do, you know. So
I mean, you guys can message me here. The link to the actual website, my business website, is on there. But just hit me up, send me a message. I talk to everybody. That's probably my downfall and shit, because they'll be like, hey, I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, and I'm supposed to be doing something important, and I'm chit-chatting, sitting there fucking chit-chatting on Instagram. But just send me a message here. I'm going to hop onto the Amazon Instagram and harass Orlando some more, because he's just cool like that. And, but yeah, message me here. You can go on the She Is Amazon Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on all that stuff. And it's so funny because I'm not good at it at all. Like, I'm so not tech savvy. I'm so, like, it was like, so when I worked as a journalist, I used to roll up with a notebook and a pencil. And they were like, what the hell is this, dude? Like, a pencil and a notebook? Yeah, like, I still want to write in my notebook. And so sometimes I still feel like that. Like, I'm trying to keep up with all the shit going on online, but I'm still got my pencil and my notebook, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but thank you. I like, man, you're all right.
I try to be, man. You know, I appreciate it. It's cats like you that are encouraging. You know, it's cool to see like cats like, you know, doing some great things, and you know, you're not only giving back, but you're giving too. You know, like, and it's a good thing like that. There's, you know, things like what you're doing with Punkdemic, not Pandemic. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Like,
I'm like, no, you mean Punkdemic? They're like, oh my god.
I'd rather have the Punkdemic than the pandemic. So, but it's a beautiful thing, man. And you guys, please go and follow Punkdemic. You'll dig it. Also, you know, look into donating to the shelter, because that we all gotta like have some cool things to donate to help other people, and that's definitely one of them. That's, you know, I had to have. I'm sorry.
No. You were fine. I just remembered. So the next one I'm looking for is, like I said, a shelter that, or not necessarily a shelter, but a program that services the men. If anybody knows or familiar with that, please let me know, because I would totally love to help them out. I think it's important. So yeah, let me know. Hit me up. Send me a message. I think it's an issue that has to be looked at. You know, I got homies that trouble for getting into things with their ladies, and they're in trouble, and the ladies running around drinking her beer, fucking kicking back. You know, like, it's terrible. It happens though. It happens.
Yeah, abuse on either side is not good, and I'm glad that you know you're attacking the issue on both sides. So that's really cool, you know.
Have to.
And just trying to give the voice to the voiceless as well, you know, like either way, it's a trip. But so hey guys, shouts to Amazon and Punkdemic. Please give her a follow and purchase a shirt. There's some cool shirts that she got, lines that are really cool, and she got the Rude Girl one. She got the, you know, the Black Punk Matter one. What's that?
Facebook wouldn't let me advertise the Black Punk Lives Matter shirt. They blocked me. And so I said, fuck it, and I made a brown Punk Lives Matter shirt. They were like, wait a minute, that's the same thing. Whatever. So I made Black Punk Lives Matter, then I did a brown one. I go, brown Punk Lives Matter then. Fuck it. So I got around it by saying brown instead of black, yo. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, Facebook's a trip, man. I mean, I could tell you some stories, but it's not all about me, man. It's what you're doing, and that shirt's really cool, man. And that one with the bowler had the Run DMC, like, that's a sick shirt.
I love that. I could see you in that one, dude. I could see you in
that.
I
need to rock that. I need to buy that one for sure. Well, plus me being a popper and a b-boy too, so you know.
We got them in hoodies. There's like a whole hoodie thing, you know. We got the t-shirts and the hoodies, and I finally got like girly tank tops, because the girls would be like, "Do you have girls shirts?" I'm like, "It's a fucking t-shirt." It's a t-shirt. So now there's tank tops on there, and like I don't know. I think I got like cups and back. Like, I don't. It's growing, and it's dope, you know. And it's mine, and it's me, and it's you, and I love it, you know. So
that's dope. That's really cool, man. Well, heck, we're gonna sign out, and you guys follow Punkdemic, Black History of Rock and Roll Month. We celebrate. I know this is a little different because I've been interviewing mostly like musicians and artists, but this is still a part of our history, you know, a part of our legacy as far as like just for the well-being, you know. It's, you know, our people, we have a long history of contributing to the well-being of everyone.
Absolutely.
And for me, like, I feel like punk and also like philanthropy and what, you know, like I just wanted to feature you on here because of the philanthropist part. Plus, it's a very musical thing, and this my whole thing is all about music, and
Same.
we're both, you know, same descent and all that, and just representing. And I think it's a beautiful thing that you're doing, you know.
Thank you.
So, well,
All
take
right,
it
I'll
easy,
catch you. All
guys.
right.
Oh yeah, yeah, we'll catch each other on the flip side for sure. I'm gonna go to the Odd Rocker account, so you know. Or you want me to do?
Go on Odd Rocker. I'm gonna go on Amazon. We'll shoot this shit for a little bit.
All right, be safe, you guys.
Talk to you.
God bless. Oh, did you have any advice to give?
To whom? You know what? I do. Because let me tell you something. It started out as an idea, just a name. And then I took the name and I go, fuck, what am I going to do with the name? I'm going to trademark the name. So I paid and I trademarked the name. And I was like, well, shit, now what am I going to do? Fuck it, I'm going to put it on some shirts, you know? And it kept growing and growing in my mind, mind you. I'm not over here rolling in the dough at this point. In my mind, it just kept going. And I was like, well, fuck it, I might as well make it a whole business. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. And I didn't know who was going to help me because I didn't have a lot of help with that. But I got it in my head that that's what I wanted to do. And I figured it out. You know, people were like, what do you mean? You know, fucking, there's like a billion brands. There's a billion t-shirt companies. Like, what do you know, you think you're Vans or some shit? What do you do? You know, no, but that's what I wanted to do. And I just kept going and I researched and I did my homework and I asked for help here and there. And like, you know, so if you're given the idea, it's in your head for a reason. Get it out there. Just fucking get it out there. Do what you got to do. Get it out there. Get your music out there. Get your ideas out there. I don't care if you draw fucking stick figures. Draw them. Get them out there. You know, expression in the arts is important. It's fucking important. So, anyway, that's my speech. Everybody
Yeah.
have a- all right, Orlando.
Peace, everyone. Black History of Rock and Roll Month. Shouts to Punkdemic.
That's okay. It's a habit. Everybody does it. No, but you know what's
Shame
terrible?
on me, man.
Somebody's actually talking about the punkdemic. You see, the pandemic. I correct him. I go punkdemic. So it works. You're good.
Man, so Punkdemic shout out. Thank you, Amazon, and we're about to sign off.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.